And next Sunday will be what?
Pentecost.
Pentecost. Last Sunday was Ascension and then Pentecost. Actually, Ascension was last Thursday. It was not yesterday. And I'll tell you why. The readings yesterday was the Ascension, but actually it was Thursday. Any word?
Okay, just reminds me that I am with you always is from his word in the scriptures and also from the sacraments, the grace that we receive, especially in grace and reconciliation.
When Jesus says, I am with you always, and then he ascended to heaven, and yet he says, I am with you always. What do you make of that?
Holy Spirit.
The Holy Spirit will be descending upon the apostles on Sunday. That's really heavy stepping. Now, see from Thursday, this was the Ascension. And then Sunday is the Pentecost. Penta means how many? 5. So is that 5 days? So why 50?
50 days
From resurrection up to Pentecost is 50 days. Now, we said Thursday was the Ascension. The real piece of the Ascension was Thursday. If you count Thursday up to Sunday, how many days is it? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 9. So we're talking 9 days from Ascension up to Pentecost. This is one of the bases for the novena. This is one of the reasons why the novena is for 9 days. Because it took Jesus 9 days to send the Holy Spirit to descend upon Mary and the apostles. First time you heard it, maybe. That's why the novena is for 9 days. If you studied finance, there's a rule in business. Include the last, include the first, exclude the last. Exclude the first, include the last. That's 9 days. Friday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Exclude the Pentecost. It's 9 days. Now, let me ask you, are you a physical being on a spiritual journey? Or are you a spiritual being on a physical journey? Which one are you? We all agree that we are on a journey here, right? If you think this is where you belong, my heart aches with you. If you think this is it, this is the home, then you use the copy. You have your copy. So which one are you? Let me see. Let's count.
Physical being between spiritual.
Who is on here? Physical being on spiritual journey. You? 1, 2. 2. Now, who are spiritual beings on physical journey?
I'll go with the other. I'll go with the other.
Here?
First. Me too.
You too? That's it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What say you? Are you here or are you here?
I think I would be spiritual being on physical.
Yeah.
Francis too? Okay. Good. Where are you?
Physical being.
You're here? Alright. It's like election time. Okay. Anthony. Oh yeah, you voted, right? Oh, yeah. The new arrivals. And John.
I really don't know. You've come up with a real conundrum here. I can see reasons, why it could be reasonable to go this way or that way.
Really? What do you think?
Physical being on the spiritual journey.
See? Yeah? Only 2 are here. Here for the baptism. That one. See the open door? Throw it in. Okay. What is your understanding of physical being on spiritual journey? Any of those 7? Oh. Well, what is your understanding? No, you're on the other side. What is your understanding of physical being on spiritual journey?
That we're humans, but we're going on a journey to try to be saved.
Okay. So in other words, is we're physical, we're body and but we're flesh, right? So we're physical, we're human, he says. Now the question is, what say you that we are a spiritual being on physical journey?
We are human, but we have soul.
Okay. Yeah.
I think about when God cured many people, when Jesus cured many people, He didn't necessarily cure them physically. He doesn't say. He probably cured them spiritually. So when I think about that,
He was more concerned about spiritual. Yeah.
spiritual. So everything, even when they say that when Lucifer, when he tempts us, he doesn't tempt our human bodies because he would come and grab us, but he tempts our spiritual being afterwards. In Perusia, it's not a human flesh that goes up, yes, but what goes up in a sense to get judged, I think, is a spiritual being. So that's why my argument was, I think I'm a spiritual being in a physical journey.
On a physical journey.
In some sort.
According to the Holy Mother Church, we are spiritual being on physical journey. This is the church. This is what the church is. I didn't say the church is. Now, why? What is more important? See, our physical existence on earth is temporary. It's only temporary. 70, 80, 90 if you're strong. Right? If you're Michael Jackson, it's only up to 50 something. Or if you're Donna Summer or Robin Gibb. In other words, it's only temporary. But spiritual is eternal. So we are spiritual beings. Our focus must not be on the physical, must be on the spiritual. So we are spiritual beings, but right now we are going through this physical journey. You understand? We are now going through this pilgrimage, physical journey. Physical because we still exist. We're still alive. But our soul will keep on going. It's eternal. You understand? So we are spiritual beings on physical journey. Now, I will give you another acronym today. Joy. I put here. This is the third acronym of joy that I've given you. First one was Jesus over you. And then Jesus, others, and then you. Now, this one is even more profound. Jesus owns you. When Jesus owns you, believe you me, there's joy. There's joy that never goes away, no matter what happens. Remember happiness. Happiness, you can be happy now, and then you get a phone call, and then you're not happy anymore. Who knows? Maybe you got a phone call that somebody has been sick, somebody had an accident, or you lost your job, or whatever. Then all that happiness is gone. But joy remains. Joy remains. Because Jesus owns us, there's nothing more that you need. Jesus owns you. Why does Jesus own you? Because He paid the price. Remember He paid the price? With His life. So Jesus owns us. I don't know about you, but this says a lot of stories. A lot of stories. He owns. It's just like, if you live in a house, and then I paid for the house. Now, whose house is that? Because I paid for it. The same concept. Jesus paid, so our lives are His. I remember one of my professors in college, but his example was in the communist country. Remember, if you love your spouse so much, you say, I love you, you are mine, and I'm yours. Yeah? You say that to your esposo? I am yours, you are mine, I love you. Guess what? You don't own your spouse. Nor does your spouse own you. Because Jesus owns you. Now, I will show you one trick, not really a trick, but one discovery, why it should be easy to love our enemies. Remember if you look at Matthew chapter 5, the Beatitudes, which we will cover next week, one of the things He says was, pray for those who calumniate you, who persecute you. Alright? In other words, pray for your enemies. That seems beyond comprehension, right? In the normal human relations. What do you mean, love my enemies? I will kill my enemies. Now, this is the trick, and this is the key to doing that. key to really do whatever Jesus says. For you and for me, it's impossible. But with this key, you can enter. And that key is Jesus in me. Jesus in me loves you. Maybe I can say to my enemies, I hate you. I don't want to see your face again, ever. Don't show up in Belleville ever again. And also Bloomfield and Ludley, and Kearney and North Arlington.
Linders.
Whatever, Linders, okay. Go to Guam, I don't care. But Jesus in me loves you. See the point? I want you to keep this in your mind. It's Jesus in me that loves you. Because Jesus is in you, Jesus is in me. You believe that? That's the key. That's the key. The key to everything. The key to forgiveness. Right? You can forgive with this key. Because Jesus in me loves everybody. If you just allow Him to take over. Just allow Jesus to take over. And easily forgive. You agree? It will be easier to forgive if you allow Jesus who is in us, to love the person. Not you, not me. Let Jesus take charge. If you let Jesus take charge, it's easier to forgive. We can love enemies. Now, as religious, we have 3 vows. I will show you what each one of those means. I'm planning to retire many of these, that's why I'm using them. Poverty.
Markers, I mean?
That's no, I have a lot. I'm trying to retire them.
I thought you said I'm going to retire. I want to say what?
No, those markers. Poverty. What's the second one?
Obedience.
That's the third one. Justice. Obedience. What does poverty mean? What does poverty mean? You give all your money to everybody? Is that what it means?
Could it be like some sort of being selfless as you possibly can?
Selfless?
You have,
In a way.
you have plenty.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, in many ways, that's poverty. Because, remember what we have been saying here, for as long as you look after yourself, there's no way in this world you can go to heaven. Because isn't that what we've been saying? So here we have Jesus, let Jesus take over. Let Jesus take over. So Jesus in me is the one in charge. That's the key. It's a beautiful, beautiful discovery. Because as it is, per se, read the Bible, this is impossible. But Jesus in me, it can happen easily. You can forgive, you can love your enemies, not only pray for them, you can really love them. As long as you let Him take over. Let Jesus run the show, not you, not me. Okay, poverty. Does this mean being poor? Yes, you think so? Who does? What do you think? Being poor means there's no money. Yeah, John.
The way I've seen it applied is that it's the inability to own anything personally. Now, whatever you are using belongs to the order of the institution. So, say you're a Cistercian, you have a watch. I mean, that isn't your watch, that's a watch that you use because the particular duties you've been assigned necessitate you using that, rather than it's something that you own. And similarly with food, apparel, etc., etc. It's all owned by the larger entity.
Actually, it's part of it. It's part of it. Poverty does not mean you give away everything. Oh, I got a new tablet, I'll give it to somebody. Oh, I got a new pair of shoes, I'll give it to somebody. That's not the poverty we're looking for. Although it can be part of it. Really, poverty means using what you have. That's the Lord. That's poverty. A lot of people don't understand that. Yeah, poverty, chastity, obedience. Using what you have to God's glory.
What are these three qualities for?
These are the three vows to be holy. Every religious makes this vow. Some religious, they make it literal. They cannot own anything. Like the Franciscans. Franciscans cannot own those, not in the third order, but the real the first order Franciscans. They cannot own anything. You know, EWTN, it's not in the name of Mother Angelica. She cannot own anything. She's a vow of poverty. It's in the name of a foundation. The key here is using, as John mentioned, using what you can. Using what you have, that's poverty. Years back, when I did study the sacred scriptures, I didn't understand. My understanding of poverty is just you have to be very poor. You have to be poor, literally poor, which means poverty. But that's not what it was. It's using what you have. So, if you have resources, if you have tablet, you have computer, use it. Use it for God's glory. That's poverty. Can you use your spouse for God's glory? It doesn't sound right, using somebody. But that's not it. What about chastity? What's your idea of chastity?
Pure.
Literally, it means pure. Actually, but in the real sense, chastity means being faithful. I'm giving you the real bottom line meaning of each of these words. Being faithful, which includes being clean, being pure. Because if you are truly faithful to your faith, if you are faithful to Jesus Christ, you'll be pure. But that's what chastity is all about, being faithful. Now, obedience. Obedience, you'll be surprised. Listening. That's obedience. You would never think. Did I tell you that I've spent one weekend from Friday up to Sunday and all we talked about was listening. They want all religious to be able to listen because that's part of obedience. How can you be obedient if you don't listen? You understand? Think about it. It's not possible to be obedient without listening. So the key to obedience is listening. And look, outside of yourself. What does it mean outside of yourself? Listening to others. Listening to others. Don't listen to yourself. Listening to yourself is pride.
Can you give me an example of that?
Listening to others?
Yeah.
Obedience. Well, especially in the religious life. You have to listen to what your superiors say. That's obedience. You gotta listen, especially the apostles. John 21, one of the Gospels this week. John 21, remember Jesus walking with Peter, with John following behind? John the Evangelist was walking far behind. But Jesus and Peter were walking by the sea. And that's where Jesus asked Peter, do you love me? Remember that? That's John 21. Do you love me 3 times? Feed my sheep, feed my lambs, tend my sheep. Listening. A good classic explanation for this is, if you listen only to yourself, what will happen to you? You just listen to yourself. You don't listen to anybody else. What does that make you?
Selfish.
Makes you a proud person. Super proud person. That explains all, isn't it? You have to listen outside of yourself. That's obedience. So there you go, those 3 vows to being religious. Now, we also have time Have you, these 3 T's? You have seen this, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the envelope, St. Peter's, there is time, there's talent, there's treasure. Probably in other churches' envelopes. Because I was registered in some 6 parishes already, and I see those talent treasure everywhere. What is time? How do you share your time, your talent, and your treasure? Let me tell you something. These 3 are synonymous with these 3. And I'll give you 3 more, and they're all synonymous, all three sets of them. I'll give you, these are 3 T's. Versus 3 G's. Three T's, time, talent, treasure. Now 3 G's, which are equivalent to each. Where did she go, Lina? She went upstairs. Huh?
To see Father Adam.
Oh, because this is not moving.
You want me to?
I don't know. I don't. Does it have to be? Here we have to be generous. Here we have to be gifted. Here we